Tell you what, we still haven't come down off that old cloud, and we're going to be talking to the champs later. We also have got quite a show lined up here, David.
Got some terrific action here. Tag team match. Jeff Jarrett and Billy Travis will be in here in just a little while. Rock and roll RPMs will be along. We got the Hangman, Bobby Jaggers, in a single match. And 8-man action. Are you ready for this? Hope the studio will hold it. Paul Diamond, Pat Tanaka, Don Bass, and King Carl Fergie on one side of the ring. On the other, Tracy Smothers, John Paul, and the Nasty Boy.
Wow, and that's our 8-man expiration of time match. In addition to that, we're going to be talking to the participants of our first very own World Tag title coming up in this area a little bit later on. Right now, we'll take time out and get back for all of it. Times before, but never have we welcomed them in as the new World Tag Champions, the King and the Superstar. Eddie and Randy joining me out here. Would you say that the good news is shared by all, Eddie? Everybody. It's great. Bill, the boy, the king. Hey, let's forget the rest of the show, Eddie, and just have a party, boy. I tell you what, it is something that I know these guys have, and we've all been right along with them, dreamed of the day we'd have a world, let's get a shot of it over here, Jerry, if we can. There it is. AWA World Tag Champion. That's what it says. We've all dreamed about it, and by golly, it has now come true, Billy.
You know, Lance, I guess, well, for Jerry and I, since all at the beginning of last week, we couldn't have been no higher. But there's something that goes along with it. I'm sure it means a lot more to the king than it does to me. We're going to give something up to be the world's champions. I'm going to give up the international belt, and Jerry's going to give up what he said for the last 12 years is his belt. And I'm sure, you know, well, you can ask the man, he's right there. It'll mean a lot more to him giving up that Southern belt, but it's great to be AWA World Champion.
Jerry, before I get into that with the Southern belt, I got to ask you a couple of questions that people all week long have been asking me. With the newly acquired World Tag belts, people want to know, does that mean they're going to be gone and never here again? Or are they going to be traveling a lot more? Or will they be here on Saturday or Monday or whatever?
Well, you know, that is a very serious thought that has crossed both Bill and our mind. And without a doubt, you know, whenever you win belts like these, you do have to, well, if you're going to do what we said and be fighting champions, you do have to defend them, and not only in your area, but you have to travel all over the country and sometimes all over the world to defend these things. You know, I'm used to, and Bill, of course, is used to. We have been very, very fortunate. A lot of people think that it's really glamorous when they see some of these wrestlers that are in maybe Los Angeles one night and New York the next and then Florida the next and Canada the next. They think that looks real glamorous, but believe me, that is the most miserable life that you can ever imagine. That's what you call living out of a suitcase.
For about 3 days.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But we have been very fortunate to be able to stay in this area and have a great relationship with the fans here. And, you know, as soon as we won these belts, which, like Bill said, nobody that ever puts on a pair of wrestling tights doesn't want to someday be the world champions. And now that we are, the first thing we talked about when we got back to the dressing rooms after this match was the fact that, just like you said, well, now that's going to be a different situation. We're going to have to do a whole lot more traveling. Eddie, the very next day, brought us several contracts. He said, hey, they sent these down. They Federal Expressed them right down here and want you guys to sign these. One of them was for Denver, Colorado, with a return match with Soldot Ustinov and Doug Summers. Another one was for someplace called Whitewater, Wisconsin. I didn't even know there was such a place, but anyway, they want us in Whitewater, Wisconsin. So there will be a lot more traveling involved, Lance. But at the same time, being the champion, you also have some advantages in the fact that a lot of guys want you then. They all want to match with you, and we have some say-so now as to where these matches can take place. And a lot of the times we can say, if these guys want us so bad, let them come here and fight us. And what we want to do is, like this guy said over here, We want to be champions from this area. It's been too long. The South has been denied too long. World Tag Team Champions. And now that we're here, we want to keep these belts down here for a while and let some of these big-name guys come into our area and wrestle us for these belts.
Amen to that. Hey, Billy has already mentioned about the international title in there, and of course the Southern title is something that's going to have to be coughed up too, huh?
Well, you know, that's just part of the stipulations, and owning World Tag Team titles, you can't be double title holders. And as Bill says, you know, titles mean a lot to everybody. Regional titles, and this Southern Heavyweight Championship has been a belt that I've always felt like I just called it my title, and anytime I have to give it up, it pains me, and I hate to give it up today, but like Bill said, for the World Tag Team titles, it's going to be...
You'll swap out, both of you guys.
So here you go, Eddie. We want to hand those over, and I just want to say I want to thank all of the fans out there. The support was tremendous, and like I said, we want to be your champions, and we want to get these guys down here to fight us for a change, okay?
Oh, boy, we can't wait for that first defense that'll be coming up.
That's right, that's this week. Now, Hector Guerrero, we ain't selling you short, brother. You've been all over the world and back again. Now, the only Dr. D that I know is the one that slapped Stossel on television one time. Well, if it's the same guy, that's fine. Come on back home, brother, and try and slap the king and the superstar. But you ain't going to do it, brother, because we're going to be the world's champions a long time.
Oh, boy, I got to tell you, what a super situation to have the world titles right here.
Yeah, let me just briefly say real quick, our very first title defense, I quite honestly had thought that it would be against Summers and Houston in a return match. But it's a funny thing. I mean, you know, like Eddie said, we're getting all kind of contracts in, all kind of challenges. Boy, we're just accepting all of them. We may lose our first match this week, and we still got about 15 matches coming up. But anyway, I don't know how they work that out. But all I know is our very first title defense is coming up this week. It's against a couple of world-class type caliber wrestlers. The top wrestler out of Mexico, everybody knows, they've seen him all over the place, Hector Guerrero and his brother Chavo. Well, Hector Guerrero is going to be here with a partner, like Bill said, named Dr. D. And I don't know if it's David Schultz. I don't know who it is, but I just know that these guys got to be tough because right now they're top contenders for these belts. And anybody that gets in line for these titles are capable teams. So we'll see how we come out with Hector Guerrero and Dr. D. And once again, we want to ask the fans, we need your support because we want to hang on to these belts.
Well, you got that. I think everybody knows that they're all behind you and they're so tickled, and it finally came to fruition after a lot of disappointments and a lot of tries with both of you having world title matches and never being able to put a single of the tag belts around your way. Congratulations
Thanks,
again, guys.
Thank you.
Billy, congratulations. We appreciate it. I wanted to get Eddie in here to talk a little bit about the situation of the freshman. I don't blame the fact everybody wants to see him. You may notice the next time you get a shot of him that this guy is not frowning either, because it was kind of a great thing for Eddie Marlin to have world title guys right in his backyard.
You know, we've dreamed of this happening, and thanks to Bill and Jerry, it's finally happened. Last week, it looked like I got a telephone stuck in me.
I noticed a little growth there.
Since this happened, I've been on the phone night and day, but the most important thing, the ex-champions had already signed a title match in San Francisco. And boy, we had to do some bidding.
Because the match originally with Guerrero and Dr. D was with Houston and Summers out in San Francisco, right?
But I felt like the fans in this area are so great, and everybody's happy over Bill and Jerry having the titles, that we wanted their first title defense to be right here at home. So we finally got that on the dotted line, and it's going to be right here.
And I know what it takes to get something like that on the dotted line. It takes a little hip pocket work in there.
That's right. And another thing, since this happened, every top tag team in the country has called and wanted to come in. They wanted a title shot. So we're going to see a lot of new faces real soon.
Hey, listen, I got to tell you that the AWA was also kind of happy to have it come here. They see it, it's a business with them, too.
Right.
And they felt like that it was justified that it be right here. Eddie, thank you for moving it here. We really appreciate it, Eddie Marlin.